Okay, so in this video, this is a weird sort of like 2 year later follow-up to my Black Friday 2022 video, but I wanted to jump on and just make this because I've been getting so many emails about so many different things, and I ended up coming up with a bit of a system as to sort of like navigate the sales and make my best decisions. So I wanted to sort of share that for anyone that's new in particular, or anyone who's just, you know, like FOMO is a big problem for you. So the big sort of like deciding factor for me in the sales this year was mileage. Like, is this potential purpose something for now, or is it something forever? It's important to sort of distinguish the difference between the two, because there's something that you could want versus something that you need, or something that you think you need because it's only on sale for a certain amount of time. With an abundance of fantastic new products being sort of splattered all over our social medias every week, it's very easy to find yourself having option paralysis, or, as I said, FOMO, which is significantly worse. So no matter what stage you might be at, whether this is a hobby for you or whether this is your profession, this is your career, everyone needs a way of sort of like reining in the overexcitement that you might find as soon as something drops in price. I've got significantly better, I think, with my sales spending, because I started to ask myself 5 simple questions before I make a purchase. Here's question 1. Does this fit into what I do? Question 2. Will this blend into what I write or what I'm hoping to write? Question 3. Could this add to or elevate my template? Question 4. Do I have anything that covers this already? And question 5. Could I create these sounds myself? Over time, I've learned to ask myself these things in order, and I only continue on to the next one if I answer yes to any of questions 1 through 3. And if I answer no to either question 4 or 5, then I've found something that I need. This not only saves time and money, but storage as well, as I've had to go through and sort of purge a lot of stuff recently. My sample drives are struggling at this point in time. Not so much anymore, but they were really struggling a couple of weeks ago. So 5 of my favourite purchases that I've made this year. First one, very, very big one, and it was a lot more money because I bought it off sale, but I can't recommend this enough. It's Peteris Vasks Strings by Orchestral Tools, which really feels like they made a string section for me. It's everything that I need. It's the exact sound that I want for most of my work. It is just stunning. Have a listen. The second library is Mysteria by Native Instruments, and this was a very core library in a film that I completed recently that's set for release next year. Perfect for like horror and thriller, but it has some really beautiful patches in there that you can then twist up and just really bring in some spooks. It's class. Have a listen. The third library, I've got 2 of the 3 now. The first one was Ashlight and the second one was Straylight from the Light trilogy by Native Instruments. Now, this is perfect for covering the sort of hybrid side of scoring for drama, thrillers. Ashlight is very sort of reminiscent of the sounds you'd hear in like The Last of Us. Straylight is a bit more reminiscent of things you might hear in like Chernobyl, a lot of Hilda Gudnadottir stuff. It's just really, really interesting sound design, really interesting transitions, pulses, lots of different things, and super straightforward to use, or incredibly in-depth if you want to be when it comes to designing your own sounds using their engine, because you can load your own samples straight in, create your own patches, and nobody's going to have them. Have a listen. Fourth and final library on this are the London Contemporary Orchestra Textures by Spitfire Audio. This works very much the same as the Evo Grid does in Oliver Arnold's Chamber Evolutions. This just sort of takes it a bit further, so rather than it being like the Oliver Arnold's one that focuses on just chamber strings, which is fantastic, this opens it up to the entire London Contemporary Orchestra. So you've got voices, you might have some mallets, you might have some even piano and stuff in there, with the core thing of the strings and some woodwinds. It's very easy to create your own sounds in this, and I've used it splattered all over a bunch of different projects this year. So have a listen. The final thing isn't a library, it's actually a tool, it's an effect. It is the Berlin Studio Reverb, the professional edition, personally, from Simplicity. I think this really sort of changed the game this year in terms of post-processing with positional reverbs, and I now no longer have to use a few different tools to achieve an effect that's not quite as good as the positioning technology within this reverb. If you were wondering what the reverb was on the demos, it's the Berlin Studio from Simplicity. Honestly, I struggle to see how we get much better than this, and it's really super affordable for what it does compared to its competitors. It's very well priced. So for any of you who would be unfamiliar with the things I just mentioned, or you're just getting into this, or maybe you're trying to level up a little bit in terms of your sounds, your template, the things that you're using on a daily basis even, I've decided to put together a handful of templates here for various budget levels, taking into account the sale price for each item. So the same applies to the library demos from earlier, but for each of the templates, all of them are running into a single master bus that has the Manley Massive Passive and then the Studer A800 tape recorder, kilohertz gain just to bump it up a little bit, and then the SSL compressor by UAD as well. And other than that, there's no other processing on anything apart from the reverbs that I've mentioned for each of the templates. And I've also used the Berlin Studio Reverb on the library demos. The only additional processing that you'll find on here is that we have Soothe on a couple of different things just because they were getting a wee bit spiky, and that's more just for people listening to this. And then Roomworks is the reverb that we're using on the under 50 master, as we didn't have the budget for a reverb, so this is just a stock reverb that is available with all versions of Cubase. I wanted to make sure that everyone would have access to it, if you were on Cubase of course. And then on the strings bus for the under 300 template, we have a little bit of Revelation, just to sort of set the strings back a bit in the mix. They were just a wee bit present, but I didn't want to mess about with the EQ. So you're still getting the sound, it's just there's a wee bit more space. And you can see we've got a couple of greyed out instances of Abbey Road chambers. That was originally the reverb I was going to suggest for the under 300 and under 100 templates, but the Abbey Road chambers really didn't work for this style of music, so the pure plate just works a lot better, it's a lot smoother and not as noticeable as the chambers were. So the first thing, for the lowest budget that we have a drama template that's also like a universal starting point for under £50. This template consists completely 100% of Museo by Cinesamples, and a 1-year subscription to Museo at the minute will cost you £38.74. That is the biggest steal. You're essentially getting all of the core libraries by Cinesamples in a really easy to use, really user-friendly interface that is also really resource light. If I had had this like 10 years ago, if I had access to, because I own Cinesamples libraries, I use Cinesamples libraries, and you have this service where you can essentially get, you can get all the Cinesamples libraries that I own in this package that is so good, and it would actually allow you to run like a full template on a laptop or a notebook. Like it's super resource light, and once again there's options in there to make it even lighter if you wish. It really is fantastic and punches well above its price range. If you're stuck at all for just a purchase or just something that you might want to try out, or you want to test different sounds for different genres you want to have a go at in the new year, whatever your level is, I would seriously recommend this, because I have a really resource light, like super size orchestra template in a different DAW if I just want to open up a project and just write something. It's using Museo, and yeah, it sounds class. So have a listen to this, under £50. So moving up a little bit more, we have a drama template for under £100. This consists of the Spitfire Originals felt piano, which is £26 on their sale. Cinesamples Museo 1-year subscription for £38.74. I'm going to keep recommending it. And a really nice reverb from Universal Audio. It's their Pure Plate reverb, which is £29 on their sale. So this entire template comes in at £93.74. Have a listen. Okay, we're stepping up again. Now we've got a drama template for under £300. First thing, with the Spitfire Originals felt piano again, £26. We've got Spitfire Albion Neo for £239. And then once again we have the Universal Audio Pure Plate reverb for £29. So this whole template comes in at £294. Have a listen. And lastly, the top level budget here, drama template for under £500. So the piano that I've chosen for this template is Noir by Native Instruments. £64.50 in their sale, which I think, to be honest, is a steal, because you're essentially getting 3 pianos. You've got the 2 sort of standards, you've got the standard grand, you've got the felt, and then you have their Particles engine, which does stuff comparable to Stratus by Spitfire. Your string section is Orchestral Tools Petros Vasque strings for £274.50, and that's half off, by the way. Orchestral Tools are showing you how to do a sale. 50% off, mate. If I'd had that a few months ago, I would have saved quite a lot of money. Covering our synths, we've got Ashlight by Native Instruments, and that is £89.50 in their sale. And lastly, for the splosh, we have the Simplicity Berlin Studio Standard Edition, which is £70.84 in their sale. And that brings this whole template to £499.34. And if I'm being honest, you add in a handful of other random libraries, and that's basically the template I've been using this year. It's just stellar. Have a listen to this. So hopefully this has given you some ideas as to how you can get into scoring, or how you can sort of step up the sounds that you're using or explore different sounds without necessarily breaking the bank or without making unnecessary purchases. I personally think that one of the best deals that's on here, and it's just in general one of the best deals about, period, is the Museo subscription. There really isn't a better competitor out there that's getting you that like quality of library catalogue for that price. It's just unheard of. And as I say, if I'd had that 10 years ago, it probably would have been 5 or 6 years before I bought another library. Like, it's just, it really does sort of boggle the mind. And anyone that's starting to get into this, that is my recommendation now. If you're dipping your toes in the water and not just going for random freebies that you find on the internet and putting together a template that doesn't make sense, you can put together an orchestra that really works together because it's recorded in the same scoring stage. It's players that are used to playing with each other. You're getting that cinesample sound, and you're getting that quality of articulation between the legato and the short patches and everything. You have really everything that you need at your disposal there. You know, it's $38.74 for 1 year of the thing, and normally per month I think it's about £7. £7 for a company's entire back catalogue, essentially. I struggled more to find libraries that weren't included, and I don't know if there are any that aren't included at this stage, because they have the professional versions of everything now, where you get like extended range instruments, extended articulations, contemporary stuff that you're probably not going to use, but you have it at your disposal for this price. It's mad. But yeah, enough gushing about that. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I'm trying to get a lot more active on social media again. It's been a really, really busy couple of years. It's nice to get back to making some videos, writing some more music just in my spare time. Even though my time is taken up with writing music, it's nice to do something like this. So I really hope you found this useful. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like or comment. Let me know some of your favourite purchases or things that you're maybe thinking about. If you have any questions about any of them, fire them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer. I'm always on hand, literally. Bring notification to the phone and I'll get back to you. If you'd like to see more of these videos, or you'd like to hear more demos of specific libraries or anything, subscribe and just let me know in the comments what you'd like to hear next. Thanks very much for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.